questions I get asked the most is what to put in a first aid kit for everyday carry. I'm not talking about a jump bag to keep in your vehicle or an IFAC to take into battle with you. I'm talking about a first aid kit that fits in your pocket that you can carry into somewhere like a shopping mall or a movie. There are a lot of good first aid kits out there on the market, but most of them are over $200 or more, and they're just not practical to carry while you're wearing your everyday clothing. In this video, I'm not going to show you how to use your kit, but I am going to give you a good idea of what you need to carry. A lot of people will go out and spend big money on a kit that has items in it that they're not even trained to use, like nasopharyngeal airways or chest decompression needles. If you ask those folks to tell you the signs and symptoms of a tension pneumothorax, they're going to look at you like a deer in the headlights. But remember, if you do a skill that you're not certified or trained to do, you won't be covered by the Good Samaritan law if somebody tries to sue you. Before I talk about what I recommend to carry, let me give you something to consider. According to an FBI study, 60% of deaths from active shooters occurred from major hemorrhage or major blood loss, 60%. About 33% occurred from open pneumothorax or sucking chest wounds. So it would be safe to say that a big part of our kit needs to be focused on stopping blood loss. Blood that we see in most trauma is going to come from two places, arteries and veins. Arteries run deep down next to bones and carry oxygenated blood under high pressure. A puncture to an artery is going to be bleeding bright red and it's going to be coming out under pressure and may actually stream out of the wound. A puncture to an artery can kill you in less than a minute, so you need to take care of arterial bleeding first. The best way to take care of arterial bleeding in an arm or leg is with a tourniquet. I carry the combat application tourniquet because it's easy to put on with one hand. You can train with it over and over and still use it. It's been tested and proven in combat, and it's what we carry on every ambulance in the state of Tennessee. The cat tourniquet's gotten so popular that it's been imitated, but the fake ones are made out of cheaper material, so they may break on you. I suggest you buy one from a company with a good reputation and make sure that it has the NSN number on the back. NSN stands for National Stock Number, which is found on almost all equipment purchased by the U.S. military. A good combat application tourniquet is going to run you around $30 to $35, and if you can afford it, you need to carry two of them. If money or space is going to be an issue, another tourniquet that's been proven in combat by the U.S. Marine Corps is the TK4 tourniquet. A TK4 is just an elastic band with a hook on each end, but it'll do the job just as good as a cat tourniquet when it's applied properly. It'll cost you around $10. The only downside to the TK4 is it's harder to put on with one hand. Remember, tourniquets always go on the upper arm or upper leg. Remember, what if we have a major hemorrhage in the groin or shoulder where a tourniquet won't work? Remember, arteries are down deep next to the bone, so a bandage is only going to cover the opening at the surface of the skin, while the artery down below is still leaking out blood. For these wounds, the best way to control the bleeding is to completely pack the wound with gauze all the way down to the artery as next to the bone. This is not going to be easy. It's going to be messy and it's going to hurt the patient like hell. There are two good ways to do this. One is the Z-Pack gauze. It's a pretty OD green package. It runs about $10. The other alternative is plain old roller gauze, sometimes known as Curlex. And it can be bought most anywhere for less than $1. The only difference in these two is the Z-Pack gauze is folded to come out of the package a little faster. But I've used both and a rolled gauze works just fine. This one is 4.1 yards and this one is 4.1 yards. Veins are a lot closer to the skin and they aren't under any pressure, and the blood doesn't carry oxygen, so venous blood is going to be oozing or seeping out of the wound, and it's going to be darker in color. Most venous bleeding can be controlled by applying direct pressure to the wound and elevating the wound above the level of the heart. But you can't sit there and hold it in the middle of a gunfight. You need a good way to hold the dressing in place while you take care of business. A good way to do that, and remember, the dressing is what goes on the wound, the bandage is what holds the dressing in place. A good way to do that is with a product like the Israeli dressing or the H bandage. These are a couple that I like to use. I've used both of them, but I prefer the H bandage because I can apply it just as tight as a tourniquet if I need to. These range from $12 to $20 depending on where you buy them. Another good affordable option is the old style Army field dressing. These can be picked up for around $2 in any Army surplus store. The only difference in these is these have a cloth bandage attached to the dressing rather than the elastic that is found on the H bandage and Israeli dressing. These types of bandages, they work great on the abdomen and head also, so they're a good all around item to have. Now I know what you're thinking. I didn't talk about hemostatic agents like Quick Clot or combat gauze. The reason I didn't mention those is you still have to hold pressure on the wound for about 5 minutes to work, for them to work, and you simply don't have time when the bullets are flying and you're trying to get off the X. Let's talk about chest wounds for a minute. Penetration to the chest creates a hole that allows the negative pressure in the chest to suck air to the wound and collapse the lung. The increased pressure is created inside the chest can also squeeze the aorta and shut off blood flow to the entire body and kill the patient pretty quick. The way we fix this is when you let the air out of the chest while stopping more air from coming in. The best way to do this is to make an occlusive dressing that creates a one-way valve. There are some commercial chest seals out there that have a one-way valve designed in them to do this, like the Asherman seal or the hyphen chest seal. They range around $20. But the easiest and more affordable way to do this is to use a package from plain old Vaseline gauze. You just tear the package in half, tear the package open, throw away the gauze, and you put it over the hole and tape it on 3 sides and leave one side open to make a flutter valve. This way, this is what we'd actually do in the ambulance and just works just fine. One valve will cover the entrance wound, one valve covers the exit wound. For tape, I just use plain old duct tape. I like to roll off about 10 feet and wrap it around on credit cards so it doesn't take up any space. Once I have any major bleeding and any sucking chest wounds under control, I need to move the patient to cover and try to establish a casualty collection point. The best way to move a casualty that can't walk is to drag them by their feet with a tether. You can drag someone twice as fast by their feet as you can by the shoulders. You can go out and buy this thing called a rapid assault tether. It's about $140. Or you can use a 12-foot piece of 4,000-pound test climbing webbing tied together with a water knot. And it works just fine. You can buy a 30-foot roll of this stuff for around $15. Another thing I like to carry that most people never think of is a door wedge, and there is such a thing as a tactical door wedge. I like to use the one called the Wedge It. This thing works great for securing doors, and it will also hold the door open if you need to keep the door open behind you when you need to go out and extract a casualty. It has this neat little hook that you just drop over the hinge on your way through the door. It takes less than a second to use. This thing works great. They can be picked up for around $15. Now, I don't use any kind of cool tactical bag to carry any of this stuff. I use a plain old small pencil pouch. I bought it for $2 at the Dollar General store. My entire kit fits in this thing and it'll fit in my pocket. You don't have to spend a lot of money to put together a good kit for everyday carry. Just make sure you can control major hemorrhage, fix and open pneumothorax, and move your casualty to cover. Odds are, if you're caught in a hostile situation where there are casualties, your time doing patient care is going to be limited. So knowing how to provide the right treatment at the right time is critical. In a future video, I'll show you how to use each one of these items. And in the meantime, don't forget to check out my website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Johnny Sexton reminding you that the training you do today will save somebody's life tomorrow.